Welcome, my name is Jocelyn and today we are doing a tag video. I don't know the last time I filmed a tag. I know I filmed a tag before on my channel. I think several tags on my channel, but it's been quite a while and I've seen this one float around quite a bit in the beauty community and I thought I would join in. It sounded really fun. A lot of things that I don't think I've talked about on my channel. And the tag is the Unpopular Opinions Makeup Tag. This tag, of course, was started. It was a collaboration between Ola Quinn and Nobody's Beauty Guru. They collaborated on this tag. I think Ola was the one who started it. It's based off of a tag that went around the booktube community and they kind of reformulated it into a beauty related tag. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. I've seen a whole bunch of people do this. So if you search it on YouTube, a lot of people will come up who've done it. So after watching my video, if you want to hear what other people's unpopular makeup opinions are, just do a quick search and a bunch of them will show up. So there are a total of 8 questions in this tag, and of course all of them are related to unpopular makeup opinions. Let's start with, well, of course, let's start with question number 1. Question number 1 is a popular makeup product you don't like. And there's not too many things that I really don't like, especially not super popular ones, but one that might surprise a lot of you is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Now this is in my year-long project pan, which is why it's still in my collection. I definitely don't hate it, but I don't really like it. I just don't think that it works super well for my skin tone particularly. It doesn't look terrible, but it's not a favorite by any means. I don't hate using it, but I don't love using it. I don't feel like it's the absolute easiest to blend on the skin. Again, it's not a terrible product. It's good enough for me to throw into a project pan and try and use up, but when I'm finished with this, I won't repurchase it. That's kind of how I feel about it. It's not the worst, not the best. It seems like everybody, or almost everybody, absolutely loves this. I will admit that it does smell really good, but it's just not something that I love. Another one that I don't have with me anymore because I only bought one of, and then I think I ended up giving it away to a friend, is right when these came out, so many people were talking about them and saying that they were amazing and they worked so well. It's the Smashbox. I think they're called the Always On liquid lipsticks. They come in like the square container. The containers are super cute. I really like the packaging on those, but it did not work on my lips at all. And maybe it was the color I chose. I chose something kind of similar to what I'm wearing right now. It was like a deep burgundy red, I'm pretty sure. And it was so uncomfortable. It like pilled up and flaked off. It was awful. It was so awful. And I did not, I mean, again, maybe it was the color, but like I wasn't gonna chance it. I did not like it and I was not about to purchase more of them. So question number 2 is a popular makeup brand that everyone else seems to hate but you love. So I want to talk about a brand and then I also want to talk about a specific product, and let's talk about the product first. One of the products that it seems like is getting a lot of sort of hate nowadays are the Naked palettes, and I can see where people are coming from. They're not, you know, the end-all be-all of eyeshadow palettes. They had their moment in time in the beauty community years ago, but I love the Naked Heat palette. I absolutely love it. I think it's beautiful. The shadows blend super easy. The shadows are just gorgeous. It's all a beautiful warm tone palette. I think they get a lot of hate and I personally really like the Naked palettes. I didn't like the Naked Smoky at all. It was no good, but my 2 favorites are the Naked Heat and the Naked 3. I love those palettes, and so that's just kind of my unpopular opinion. I love them. A lot of people talk a lot of smack about them nowadays because there are probably better alternatives out there, but personally I really like them still. Now, a brand that a lot of people hate, a brand that's on a lot of people's bad side right now, which I can definitely understand why, and maybe there's more controversies surrounding this brand than just the shade range, hint hint, but I've always been, I don't want to say, God, this is the whole point of this tag, right, is to spill some tea kind of on yourself. I really like Tarte. I like a lot of their products. I like a lot of their packaging. It's one of my favorite brands. well, the products are some of my favorite. Let's say that. The products are some of my favorite. The brand, I can totally get on board with them being very controversial. Not very controversial, because they're not very inclusive. And we've all seen that. There's a lot of brands though that are not very inclusive. I think Tarte got a lot of crap because of the Shape Tape foundation, which was, the shade range on that was absolute garbage. Anybody who says differently is lying to themselves. But there are so many other brands outside of just Tarte that come out with foundations that aren't as hyped up and have like even less of a shade range. Do I think that it's fair that they got called out? Yes, I do. They should get called out. Somebody needs to start calling this out so that brands come out with more. That's just my opinion. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I think that's a pretty popular opinion, that it's a thing that's happening right now that should have happened a long time ago, that brands are more inclusive. If you're arguing with that, that doesn't make any sense. Everybody should be able to buy a foundation. Why would you argue against that? That doesn't make sense to me. So anyways, I'm sidetracking a lot, but just the products that Tarte comes out with, I love most of them. Some of them of course are quite gimmicky, but a lot of the products, a lot of the packaging that Tarte comes out with, I love, and they're in hot water with a lot of people, rightfully so, but that's my opinion. There you go. That was quite the lengthy answer for only question number 2. Question number 3, makeup collaboration you didn't like or were not interested in. So the first one that came to mind was Nicole Guerrero? That's not right. How do you say her name? Guerrero. Nicole Guerrero. So, Nicole Guerrero, is that right? Guerrero. So one palette, one collaboration that I was just not very interested in was the Nicole Guerrero and ABH highlight palette. I don't follow Nicole. I've never followed Nicole. I don't know that I've ever really seen one of her videos. And I know it got a lot of hype on YouTube and a lot of people really loved that palette, but I don't think for even a second I was very interested in it, and I never gave it a second glance, so it was just something I passed right over very easily. More collaborations that I just have had no interest, not really any interest in, is basically I think all of the ColourPop collaborations aside from Kathleen Lights. Kathleen Lights collaborations I always give a second glance to, but I don't think there's been any other collaborations that I've purchased besides those. They come out with a lot of collaborations, which I think is perfectly fine. Give people the chance to collaborate. Give them the opportunity to create makeup for their audiences. But also, I haven't purchased anything besides, I think, Kathleen Light collaborations. So there's that. Those are a couple, I'm sure that there's more collaborations. Like, I never purchased the Nikkie Tutorials Too Faced Power of Makeup. I didn't purchase the Graveyard Girl Tarte palette or anything from that collection. There's been a lot of them. The Amrezy ABH collaboration, I didn't purchase that. There's been a lot of collaborations that I haven't purchased. So let's see, question number 4, popular makeup step that you never do. So I have a few. A lot of these feel like things that only like the bigger influencers do, or people who are super glam and wear super glam makeup all the time, and that includes baking. I never bake. I don't know if I'm just too lazy for it or I'm deathly afraid of getting some kind of flashback. I don't ever do the whole brow carving thing where you put concealer below and above. That just feels like way too much work for almost the same exact results. Never do that. And the other thing sometimes I do this, but only for super special occasions, is fake lashes. I just don't have the time or the energy to put into putting those on my eyes, and then, you know, they're kind of uncomfortable when they're on your eyes, and so I just like never do them almost. So those 3 things that are pretty popular, it feels like, among some people. Not a lot of the smaller influencers partake in those 3, not the baking or the eyebrow carving. Those 2, not so much. Eyelashes, it's like maybe 50-50. Question number 5, popular beauty influencers that you don't sub to or watch. This is Hot Shady Tea. So I feel like most people have said this answer, and that is that I don't really follow a lot of them. There's nobody that's super big in the beauty community that I watch like every single one of their videos. Sometimes I'll watch ones that pop up on my feed that interest me, but most of the ones, you know, like those really big top people, I don't watch religiously. It's probably easier to say the people that I do sometimes watch. Kathleen Lights, sometimes I watch. Jaclyn Hill, sometimes I watch. I know a lot of people don't like Jaclyn Hill. A lot of people even in my personal life just don't like her vibe or anything like that. I personally do. She seems like a very fun person, very bubbly, very energetic, very exciting to be around. She seems like a super smart businesswoman. She's hustled hard to get where she is, so that's really cool. I feel like everybody is got their own drama, their own shit. You know, nobody's 100% good and 100% bad. You know, it's everybody's got a little of good, a little of bad, or a lot of good, a lot of bad. Nobody's gonna be perfect. And I just feel like a lot of these people, it's so broadcast and there's so many people looking for things to hate. It kind of seems like it's just part of being a big creator, is your shit's gonna get brought up or lies are gonna be spread about you and people are gonna hate you. Like, that's the unfortunate truth about it. I mean, some of it's probably well deserved, but just because somebody messed up doesn't mean they're a 100% bad person. Also, on that strain, people should be held accountable for their actions, the things that they say, the things that they do, the way they make people feel. So I don't know, you never know 100% what goes on behind closed doors and how and what a person really is like. I'm the kind of person that likes to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I really don't believe that, it's hard for me to believe that somebody is just truly evil. I don't know, that's kind of a long explanation. What was even the question? I've gone on quite the tangent. Okay, two people that I will call out that I've never really been that interested in. They just don't vibe with me, which is really weird because they're two of probably the least controversial people in that top beauty guru like platform, and that is Nikki Tutorials and Patrick Starr. I don't know why. They both seem like very pleasant people. Even Nikki Tutorials looks like somebody, or sounds like someone, feels like somebody who I would vibe really well with in person. She seems super sweet, super educated. Her makeup is always beautiful, but maybe that's why, is because she's so intimidating to me that I'm like, I will never be able to be at that level, so why would I watch her tutorials if I'm never gonna be able to do that? So maybe that's why. And then Patrick Starr, I've actually met in person once a year ago. I actually met him in the Morphe store in LA, and he was super sweet and it was a really good interaction, but again, I don't know why. I just haven't really watched their content. Let's move on to question number 6. Popular makeup product / brand that you don't use or support anymore. So I used to not be a cruelty-free person in terms of my beauty skincare regime, but 2 years ago, year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, I did switch to cruelty-free. I used to buy from MAC quite a bit. I used to buy from Benefit sometimes. NARS recently went, well, not recently, maybe a year ago, went non-cruelty free. There were products by Clinique that I bought and some from Makeup Forever, and I don't support those anymore, so I don't buy from them. And really, it hasn't, very, very rarely been a moment where something has come out and I've felt very disappointed that I didn't allow myself to buy it because it was from a brand that wasn't cruelty-free. I have found so many amazing alternatives in my cruelty-free brands, and so yeah, I don't purchase from any brands that test on animals or sell in mainland China. Recently, and this kind of breaks my heart. In even a recent video, I hadn't talked about this yet because I didn't really know about it yet, and that is my stance on Huda Beauty. So Huda Beauty makeup is considered cruelty-free, which cool, great, amazing, I love that, and that's why I've been purchasing from her. I do love her eyeshadows and her liquid lipsticks, but it was recently brought to my attention that she sells mink lashes, and a lot of people still, some people still consider that cruelty-free because they claim, and people who sell mink lashes claim, that they are harvested in a, that kind of seems weird, they are gathered from a mink animal in a very ethical, non-cruel manner. However, a lot of the articles and a lot of the discussions that I watched, or that I read and researched into about the process of getting fur from a mink, was like, there's no possible way that that's cruelty free. That minks are very territorial, oh my god, that minks are very territorial, there we go, and also very solo creatures, and that being in an environment where they would have to be with other minks and be around humans, like that in and of itself is cruel to them. And the way you collect the hair, it sounded, a lot of the things that I read, it just sounded like there was no real possible way for Huda Beauty, well, their lashes to be considered cruelty-free, which therefore would make the entire brand not cruelty-free. So it kind of seems like a very gray area. I think for me, at this point in time, I'm gonna put a hold on buying products from Huda Beauty just because I really stand behind my stance as a cruelty-free channel and really want to purchase only from cruelty-free brands and put my money, put my dollars, vote towards cruelty-free brands and purchases. So it doesn't sit well with me that there's probably cruelty going on with producing her 6 pairs of mink lashes. And it really sucks that she has 6 pairs of mink lashes and so many other regular lashes and so much other makeup that is cruelty-free. And it's like, oh. So yeah, I wanted to touch on that because it's not something I've talked about on my channel because it just recently has become a thing for me to not purchase from Huda Beauty. So there you go. Okay, question number 7, let's move on. A makeup trend that you have no interest in trying. To go along with the things that I don't do on a regular basis, I don't really have any interest in the brow carving. That just is something that sounds like too much work for not enough payoff. Most other things I'm totally willing to try. I love experimenting and playing around with makeup, doing those crazy eyeliners and cut creases. That sounds like a lot of fun, something I wouldn't mind trying. I probably wouldn't be very good at it, but I wouldn't mind trying it. It's not something that I wouldn't ever be interested in doing. The other thing though that I wouldn't really, I don't know if it's so much of a trend anymore, but that heavy contour highlighting trend that was going on where there was like just lots of like dark, light, and then you blend it in, and I don't know, that's just not something that I'm very interested in. But most everything else I could see myself trying at some point in time. And finally, question number 8, I am feeling very winded because, oh my gosh, these answers have been quite lengthy. A makeup product that was better in theory than when you used it. So either it swatched better or worked better on others than on you. And I'm taking this as on others means like as advertised, and something that 100% was very disappointing. And I really don't have very many of these because I typically tend to really like things, or I don't buy things that I don't think are gonna work for me. I'm not gonna go spend my money on something that I haven't done research on. But the Benefit was it the push-up liner? I'm sure you probably know what I'm talking about. It was that the Benefit liner that you twisted at the bottom and it pushed product out of the top applicator, and then you were supposed to, it was like a cream gel consistency, and it was supposed to help you get like a really nice cat eye, and it was awful. It was just like, I don't think I got it to work once for me. I bought it a long time ago before I was cruelty-free, like right when it came out, and it was horrid. It was so horrible. And yeah, I think a lot of people were expecting it to be great, and then like it got absolutely shit reviews. It was terrible, terrible, terrible. And I think that's it. That is all 8 questions from this tag. Please let me know if you have any answers to any of these. I would love to hear them down in the comments below. Let's have a little bit of a conversation. Do you disagree or agree with anything that I said in this video? Be kind, but leave it below. I would love, again, to have a conversation. If you want to do this tag, I would love to hear from you. If you want to film a video, please let me know if you've filmed it, and I will come check your video out so I can listen to your answers. A lot of these are very interesting and really good discussion topics, so I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on about some very unpopular makeup opinions, and I hope none of these get me in hot water. There is another tag that I am interested in doing, so if you like tag videos, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe for more content from me, don't forget to do so before you go. All buttons are down below. And I think that's everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.